We're live on the YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? How you doing? Bear with us as we're
No one's here.
scrambling to set up here. We're not live on the gram yet, right?
No. Oh, someone's here.
I was gonna say it should fill up relatively quick.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Instagram, YouTube. What's up, folks? What's up? What's up? Well, Britt, what's our topic going to be today?
Whatever they want it to be.
Well, we kind of screw the pooch here, if you will. Oh, actually, that's what we'll do.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions or where?
Who's bidding projects out of fear? I know I catch myself succumbing to that. I'm trying to not do that, but I find myself worrying about having work in the spring, and so I'm looking at projects I probably shouldn't. Anybody else? We had a big discussion about bidding out of fear and the problems that come with that. Are we live on Instagram?
Caleb's behind the screen for those of you that are confused. No, you are not live on Instagram. I'm waiting for you.
Oh.
I would leave this be. Honey, sorry, YouTube. YouTube's already recording this. There's no reason to record this.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Just ignore it.
Cool. What's up, YouTube? From the company Cam Studios. What on earth are we doing here? I don't know sometimes. That's an XLR to 1/8 inch. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel here. Mac, what's going on? First one's in. Okay, folks. Hey, welcome YouTube on the YouTube replay. 8 people there. I know a few things to talk about. Calco, what's going on? A few things to talk about the podcast summit this next weekend. Next weekend, not this weekend, the next weekend. Is that correct, Britt?
Right.
Am I saying
the
that correctly?
28th. It's from 9 to 5 here at our shop. And it's the first time
What's up, Illinois?
we kind of have like an open invite to the shop, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But if you live anywhere near Columbus, Ohio, or willing to make a drive, we will be here, and you could be on the Green Industry Podcast.
Green Industry Podcast.
Our podcast. I should not go through this because I'll probably forget someone.
Daddy. I got a thing.
The Growing Green Podcast, LCR Media Podcast.
Yep, lots of podcasts.
There's like 7, and I'm really bad.
Paver King is coming. Whether or not he'll be podcasting from here, that's another.
Are we promoting Paver King's podcast?
I mean, we're not promoting it, but we can mention it. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I've heard.
You don't listen to it though.
It's not for everybody. That's all I've heard.
All right. Hello from Illinois.
Okay, so anybody bidding stuff out of fear at the moment and doing things, Kubota Girl, bidding stuff out of fear. Lawn Care Power Moves podcast will be in attendance. Yep, there we go. Bob Weaver, cool. What's going on? Lawn Care Power Moves. I need my water back. We are Big Buckeye.
What are you bringing?
What?
Hello. Someone asked for a spot to park their rig.
Yeah, please disclose what you're talking about, rig. I think parking is going to be crazier.
Hopefully if the ground freezes up a little bit.
Yeah, otherwise we will have a disaster. Which actually I was going to roll out that one mat out there in that side area, and I got to cut out the side parking where the guys are parking. We need to get that cut out and grab one there. Anyways, hey everybody, welcome to is this a show? What is this exactly we're doing?
It's the weekly check-in.
Weekly check-in. All right. How's everybody's spring load for work looking? I think ours is starting to look good. I'm feeling good about it.
We have more winter work right now than we've had.
Yeah, this is great. Just got a good bit of commercial work released to us, which is always wonderful. Hopefully we got the conditions to do it. Bid another one here today, so that'll keep the guys busy. That's always good. Who was I talking? Zach Turneau the other day talking about the work the workload through the winter, and Turno's, just doing what they can to keep their team busy and just trying to.
Well, he said a couple of their guys were
20-foot enclosed trailer. Shoot me a DM. I'll probably have you park next door because there won't be room for that. So shoot me a DM. I'll get you squared away for that situation.
But a lot of people or not a lot of people, Turno's were some other contractor, like house building person, needed help taking down a house, I think, or like demoing something inside. So his guys are overworking there. So get creative if you don't want to lay your guys off. They don't want to be laid off. Maybe network with other contractors and see if there's something that they can do to help them part-time or whatever, like Zach's, I don't think he's making money he might be making money on labor, but I don't think he is, but it at least keeps his guys busy.
Well, the thing to consider with that, with your team is, and with employees in general is it worth doing work that's not super profitable or work that is, again, not losing money. We don't want to lose money, but at least break even or going to set us up for success in the spring. And the way that's setting us up for success in the spring is keeping the staff on hand that you want to keep, and by providing full-time employment for them, because the better staff, as your company, if you're really young, it's not so much the kids and guys you got working for you don't care if they're laid off or whatever. But the big thing, I was trying to read that question. Sorry if I got sidetracked. But the big thing there is trying to keep your staff on hand. So the more mature employees you've got, or mature, actually, here's what it is. The better the employees are that you have, they're going to want full-time employment and good pay at that, of course, right? But being able to keep them going during the winter, at least 30 hours, 20 hours, Dancing Dirtman, what's up? That's a big deal. And so what is the ROI? Okay, we're not doing a lot of profitable work through the winter, but we're keeping our staff and not having to retrain our team and hire and do that scramble of new hires and all that crap. So you've got to consider that. That is a profitable aspect of just keeping guys on hand if it's not the most profitable work during the winter. The other aspect of that to think about is then if you're not doing work that's very profitable or even profitable at all, I would be careful with that stuff, is the risk involved in. If you're out, anytime your crews are on the clock, your teams are on the clock, they're a risk and a liability to an extent, right? Anybody could get hurt doing the silliest of things, cut their finger off, workers' comp claim, you wreck a truck in bad weather, whatever. And so there's an inherent risk, which is why profit is so important to a company, because that is the offset of risk. And the higher the profit, the more offset of risk. And so that's something to keep in mind, when I should really try to shy away from doing chainsaw work, land clearing that involves a lot of chainsaws with our guys. Chainsaws are so dangerous and so crazy. It's amazing to me that there's the firearms laws that there are in the United States and no registration or training or anything required for a chainsaw. And I bet you more people are hurt by chainsaws a year. I bet you it's close.
Oh man.
Okay, you're gonna have to do that. It's gonna be a disaster all day. So forgive us there, folks. Okay,
Sorry.
so we missed some comments.
Okay.
Oh, see, we're pushing
I know.
somebody over to Instagram. Well, see, they're switching over to Instagram.
I understand. I responded to them.
I did say, "Hey, Rick Watkins." That's his actual alias. What do you think of for Bobcat S250 joystick? I don't even know. We went joysticks against her. The person generally super behind the times here. She says I'm super behind the times. When we bought our
You are
new
behind the times on anything technology, like computer
wrong
related.
again. I just don't know how to use it. I'm totally on top of the times. I just don't know how to use any of it.
Landscape Daddy's on here. What's
up, Landscape Daddy? Yeah, he's been in the room for a minute. But he's doing demolition work. So like NDL here, Natural Design Landscapes. He says our guys do demolition for another contractor on the NDL payroll, right? And so,
which I have a question. Like as far as that goes, if they get hurt, does it go on their workers? Whose workers' comp?
Whoever's payroll it's on. I can't speak to Canada.
I don't know.
Land,
so that would suck because then you might not be covered for it because if you're
no. If they're acting as a subcontractor.
Yeah, but like our workers' comp is classified by what the people are doing. So if you have them working for another contractor like say our guys are building houses, our workers' comp plan isn't rated for building houses.
Right. Yeah.
So that could get tricky.
Yeah,
maybe.
it could, and it by the book is wrong. Let's say I don't think I would worry about it a whole lot, but what's Bob saying there?
His daughter's in the hospital.
Oh, that's no fun.
Um,
You bet, Bob.
I'm epileptic also, so
yeah. So that's never any fun. So Bob will be praying for you and the family, of course. Okay, so yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing, and that's something that when you're paying people under the table. Thank you for the sound here. Let us know if there's no sound. It's so frustrating. All right. Let us know if the sound. All right, start it over. Okay, lawn commander chainsaw is crazy. Logging is the most dangerous job there is. Yeah, lawn commander, so far as I know, that is a really dangerous profession. And figure out how to turn off your notifications and all that crap. Yeah, the logging industry. I know. I mean, anytime if our workers' comp even begins to discuss, or if we even begin to hint at the concept of doing anything with chainsaws or any of that kind of work, our workers' comp rates get icky fast. And I know a professional vegetation clearing company. I would just scratch that whole. I wouldn't even post it. Their workers' comp rates drive them out of working in some states because the workers' comp rates are so high, which is crazy. Which sucks because that just means the profit margins are that low on that high volume work that's nuts. That those guys. Thank you, AJ. But hey, before you go live, turn off your notifications. Okay, thank you, baby. It's crazy. So yeah, chainsaws. I can't say enough how dangerous chainsaws are, and I always am wearing. You rarely see me with a t-shirt anymore and a t-shirt and jeans and running a chainsaw anymore. I will almost always be in a long sleeve shirt of some kind, probably a hard hat, definitely eye protection, and let's see what else. Eye protection, hearing protection, of course, too. And I'm getting in the habit of wearing chaps now. In the summer, they're hot and they're awful, but it's kind of funny. Thank you, AJ. They appreciate it. Check out Brex Enterprises. They do some cool stuff.
Mark Parker has some pretty crazy photos of chainsaw accidents.
Yeah.
So he gave me a new appreciation for all small power tools.
Who represents, I think it's Brian Equipment for Steel.
Growing Green podcast he's the one that cut his finger off, right?
He filleted his finger all to pieces, but that was with a set of head shears.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Right. Like it doesn't even have to be a chainsaw. And Mark Parker one day he's like, I know there's all you out there who go out there and shear shrubs with your flip-flops on, which I do at home because that's just the easiest. But I don't anymore after he showed me the photo of someone getting their foot because they just stopped, but the blades were still going. It was just bad. I wish I had the picture.
We had a guy working for us that got his thigh with a set of head shears, and I've caught myself in the thigh with a set of head shear or no chainsaw as well, and just got lucky and it didn't turn anything bad. But yeah, that stuff's gnarly, folks. It's dangerous. Looking into benefits for your employees. Britt, what all do we do for the company?
I don't know, just because of how things are. I don't know that we'll ever be able to offer health and dental unless we grow crazy. We do have retirement plans in place with a matching contribution available for our employees. They get a week's vacation, they get paid holidays, they get 2 additional personal days. Doing as much as we can. I just don't know that we'll ever be able to do health or dental.
But we this year just rolled out IRA or 401k.
Yeah,
with matching. Oh, we said that.
Said that. Yeah. If they have their own workers' comp and you're paying them as a 1099, it goes under theirs. If they don't have their own workers' comp, you should put them on payroll even for a short period to cover everyone.
Yeah, I mean that's the old subcontractor thing of I'm paying them as a sub. Well, legally in Ohio, in the States, if they do not have their own workers' comp, their own insurance, and their own equipment, they're not technically a subcontractor. And I know a lot of subcontract labor gets written off that way. I have no problem with however anybody does it. I don't care. But if somebody gets hurt and then they do an audit on you and they realize, oh, they're doing the dance of like, they're actually like an employee really, because the other thing with a sub, theoretically, you can't tell them when to get there or how to do anything or to do anything other than off of a scope of work. And so that gets ugly quick. And so anytime you're paying people cash, I am so risk adverse to that anymore. I can't hardly ever stomach the thought of paying somebody cash anymore, or, not recording the labor, because just the risk is so bad.
I don't think it's worth it for I mean, you do save a little bit of money, but I don't think it's enough for.
Yeah. Or even just extra hands on the job. It's just so tough. And it sucks. It really holds back the workforce as well. Like,
I mean, side labor, the limit in Ohio is $600. So
right.
You can't, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. See, people are coming back.
Yeah, people come back, of course. Yeah, and that's just the challenging thing with the payroll and the things and being a legitimate company. Like, you've got to jump through so many hoops, but and it's funny. And then I hear people gripe about that, and then they want like state licensing requirement for landscape contractors and stuff like that. And I am adamantly against that. I don't want the government involved in any more things than it's already involved in, unless it involves like public safety,
with like chemicals and stuff. Yeah, you should have a license for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Planting shrubs,
or just to be a landscape, like I think in California and some of those states where you've got to be a licensed contractor, I think that's so stifling to business starts. Michigan has some stupid rules. Don't you have to work
for someone else for like
you got to have X amount of business experience and all that stuff. What's up, steel cuts? And so my libertarian leanings are going to be very, very uninterested in any kind of state licensing requirements for landscape contractors or lawn care providers, anything like that. I think it's just every day we stray further and further from the Constitution, and that stuff's taking us there. So
Trent wants to know, what are your plans for the shop this year?
In the building, organization and fluency of operations, right? So making sure guys are getting into habits of things going back where they belong, when they belong there.
So we've talked about for the shop getting like shopping carts and having them out there so the guys can pull up next to the shop, unload everything at once into the shopping cart, and then like drive around the shop and put things back in. They can, of course, back in, but our doors are really small and no one likes to do that. And that's my fault. But inside, tidying stuff up. Outside, there's still a ton of work to do. Like a ton of work to do. We still have a big retaining wall to put out front, and we have a display patio to put in, and I want a pond, and we need a road sign, and yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot to do, but
the inside's like pretty good. We still need our HVAC system to go in before we can.
I realized yesterday I don't have a vise in the shop on any of the workbenches, so I need a working vise pretty badly. So that's something we'll.
As long as we have that as a 2023 goal.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
California's got wacky rules on everything.
Landscape Daddy, I'm throwing around the idea of a dedicated office person. At what point do you think it's essential for a landscape business?
Britt, you would be, I mean, at a $500,000, and I know Landscape Daddy's over $500,000 easy.
I don't know that you need a full-time, like someone sitting in the office.
Well, at what dollar point do you need a full-time versus part-time?
I don't know. I'm not there.
Well, just speak to our experience.
So, we're still just under $1 million in sales, and I hired a bookkeeper to do.
Well, who? You might as well plug them.
I will. Oh. I hired a bookkeeper, Cycle CPA, and they're for our size company, it's based on how many accounts you have and how many transactions you do a month.
How many bank accounts you do?
How many transactions you do a month. And they do our reconciliation. I still only do our invoicing, but they do everything else. And then I use paychecks for our payroll processing and our quarterly taxes. So I can't speak to when you need a full-time office person in the office. I would say you have to at least be over $1 million in sales. Now, can you find part-time people? I found it cheaper to outsource this to other companies to do what they specialize in than actually have someone physically sitting here in the office. I do not need someone to physically sit here in the office. And they're able to do everything remotely. I did hire a local bookkeeper 2 years ago that was supposed to be QuickBooks certified, and she was like 40 minutes away, but she was still able to do everything remotely. And she did a horrible job.
It started out good.
It started out good, and then she just like disappeared. So it's and then she came back, and then she disappeared again. So
it's like any process, right? It's going to take time to find a fit and a person that's reliable and all that kind of
stuff. I would definitely, for starters, if you're going from solely you to, trying to find other people to do stuff, I would go find someone who specializes in what they do and just outsource it to another company at the moment. And then once once you're getting to the cost of, weigh it out for the entire year, it's like, oh crap, I'm spending $40,000 a year on these outsourced services. Yeah, it's probably time to find someone that you can bring in the office and do something like all encompassing.
One thing with that though is all encompassing. You've spanned a whole array of skill sets there, right? And so you can't hire somebody that's going to be a good CPA and also a good phone answering person and all that. So you still got to roll that ROI too, right?
So, and there's like phone answering services that you can do. If you're horrible at answering the phone or returning calls, I would just outsource it as much as I possibly can. And then, do that with all your positions. So if you're thinking about, just be really careful, because if you're thinking about, we were talking about hiring a salesperson, but we want to be sure that we hire a salesperson who can also design too. And
has field experience. They're not underestimating or poorly estimating or giving unrealistic expectations for a project. So a unicorn, essentially.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so that's.
But they're out there, and I think we could.
What's the best way to advertise? I would Facebook and referrals are your cheapest. Yard signs are also great. So if you're in a neighborhood working and you want more work in that neighborhood, you need a yard sign there. But we don't do like any newspaper ads or postcards or mailings or anything. I will target specific neighborhoods sometimes. So if a new neighborhood went up or it's a neighborhood that's been there for a couple years, I will capture all of their addresses in there and write literally like almost a handwritten note, but I'll sign every single one of them like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. We're happy to have you here in the community, blah, blah, blah. And that's actually worked really well for us. Let's do a lot of
really good questions. Yeah.
Chuck in the truck weeds their self out, so no need for licensed landscapers. Yeah. What's a good way to implement bonus for specifically interlocking for your guys? Do you do it by profits or how much work they do, like square footage lane? We do not do based on square footage. Our bonus structure currently, which I'm always looking for a better one. I don't think there's an easy one to implement, at least, for just us to implement it ourselves. Right now we're doing, if they get a percentage of the project total gross sale if they meet their numbers that we estimated. So, but what you run into that is it can get sketchy because, they could be like, well, your hours were unrealistic on this job, or it's your fault you didn't estimate this much, or it's, so there's a lot of blame back and forth because technically your estimate is what decides it. And if they don't think it's a reality, now what we try to do is give them all the information ahead of time. Is like, is this a doable project? Like, can you get this done in 40 hours or 80 hours or 200 hours? And if they think it's fair, then it's full send. You get your bonus at the end if you meet your hours. Did I answer it? Yeah. Okay. How does CPA work being remote like that? Okay. So they have Cycle CPA was very thorough. So I made them an admin user on our QuickBooks account. I gave them access to our PayPal account. I gave them access to our Amazon account. And I made them they knew how to have be made users. So we went through all of that. And I literally talked to her. She'll send me an email at the end of the month of questionable transactions. So if it's a new place that we purchase something from, or if it's Lowe's or something like that, and she just doesn't understand what to categorize it as, she sends me an email list of that. And I just go through and tell her what category to put things in. If it's cost of job sold, if it's advertising, if it was a charitable contribution, whatever. So I do that. And then she reconciles everything. And then every 3 months, she sends me a balance sheet, a profit and loss sheet, and we go over it with a quarterly meeting. If you do sign up with Cycle CPA, their initial thing is they clean up the books for you. So They'll go through and make everything nice and pretty and make everything talk to each other and match. And then you'll do your monthly stuff from there. They've been great to work with. We've done it for a year. If you use code Auman, you get, I think, $200 off your first service. So, okay. What is your goal for an office person? A virtual assistant can handle a lot of things at a far cheaper rate. That is true. We were talking to people this morning about virtual assistants, and I've never hired one. I'm scared to hire one, but I would definitely consider it for certain tasks. Landscape Daddy's at 1.5 mil. I don't know, Landscape Daddy, you probably could handle an office person at that point. Do you guys get taxes a lot? Yeah.
Do you guys get taxes a lot? Do we get taxed a lot? Probably is what that was supposed to say. More than I like. Some folks even say taxation is theft.
Do you send
AJ Princel's finishing a bid. Good luck, dude.
Do you send your clients a gift? Yeah, for I don't think we did any last year. Last year was just crazy. But 2 years ago, I had a bunch of Auman tumblers made from Arctic. They had some special. And I had my assistant at the time, so I wrote a hand note, thank you for the project, put it in an ice cream bag and this tumbler, and she hand delivered all of those to our clients like a couple weeks after we'd left. And those were really popular. What's the best way to price a paver patio? Element software, of course. Use code Auman.
But by how much time it's going to take you. And then the big thing on that is how to price paper patio. Number one, cost of materials is easy. That's piece of cake. That's pretty easy to estimate. Then how much time is going to take you and what equipment is going to be there. And how much time it's going to take you will tell you what you need to charge per hour. Well, what do you charge per hour? That's another big deal. And that's where I say you need to talk to John Pajak or get LMN, Landscape Management Network software. And that will help you and set your hourly rates for you based off the information you feed it. So you can't really price a paver project if you don't know what you need to make per hour that you're going to be on that job. So if you think it's going to take you 3 days, well, what's 3 days worth of your time and all your crew's time, and how are you going to recover your overhead and your phone bill and all that stuff? So that's the number one thing is you got to know how much you charge, and then you just extrapolate that out by the time. So that's that.
Backyard Boys, please do come to the podcast summit. Please do register so we make sure we have enough food for everyone.
Yeah, Backyard Boys. We met them at GIE or HNA or whatever the heck.
Entrepreneur Academy, I don't
know. No, they were up there too. Yeah, I think, but definitely at HNA.
Yeah, Together in the Trades. Yes, July 14th and 15th.
I don't know, but
yeah, we're flying out on the 13th. I booked those flights just recently, so that's why I'm confused. 2-day conference or 2 mornings, and then you get the afternoon those days to go explore Yellowstone and the Big Sky area,
or sit in your hotel, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but I'm going to go fly fishing. So if someone wants to be on my trip for fly fishing, let me know.
But get on that. If you're going, do it soon, because we're almost sold out. We're like 2/3, 5/8 sold out.
Yeah, I haven't checked recently, but last I checked, we only had like 40 couples. No, less than that. 30 couples left, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 30.
Haven't been able to find a Versalock supplier in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, I saw that DM. I'm sorry I haven't got to that. Versalock is a licensed product, and so you've got to look and see who has a Versalock license, and they may not have anybody there that does that. So your next best bet is going to be finding a comparable segmental retaining wall block. We do like Versalock a lot. We use that a good bit.
Okay. At what point do you guys call for a rain day? Do you think it's worth it to work in the mud and make a mess? We leave it up to our guys. They know the site better than we do because we haven't been on the site. It just depends.
And I think you got to look at it from a perspective of, does it move the job farther ahead by going and working in the mud, considering the setbacks of the mud, than to not be there at all? If you're going to get half a day of work done and you spend half a day cleaning up, probably not. If you're going to spend 2/3 of the day there or a full day there and trash the place and you got to do more yard remediation, it might take a couple more hours. Yeah, I would say that's progress worth it. The big thing is trying to, like with hardscape projects, our big push is to get the job based in or rocked in to where we're not affected by the mud so much. And then it's just crappy site conditions. So that's always a tough one. It's a tough call, but does it move you ahead more than behind? And I'm going to say, in general, the production, depending on the type of work, if it's really detailed finish work, yeah, that's probably not so much. But if it's the excavation portion where stuff's getting destroyed anyways, I mean, whatever. It's just important to price remediation into your projects too, like making sure that you price in a fair amount of time to, as Andy and Jeremy say, finish strong. And you got to convey that to your clients too, that you're going to leave a nice, tidy site, and that reflects the pricing maybe being higher than the next competitor.
Long Commander on here said his CPA, local CPA isn't worth a hoot. Just one more thing on that. Cycle CPA will do benchmark. So they specialize in landscape companies. That's what their firm specializes in. And so at the end of the quarter, they'll say, you guys were really high, kind of like Element Software does, but they'll say, as an industry standard, you guys were really high in your labor. So let's talk about ways that we can make things go more efficiently. Or, you have a lot of equipment that you're not utilizing. Let's figure out what we can do with this to get your numbers a little closer to average on those things. So, and they make you come up with goals. So what do you want your goal to be for the next 3 months? And they kind of work with you to help you achieve that, to keep you on task, which I like a lot about it. Someone asked, how do you price jobs?
Same as paver patios and stuff like that. I think it was Escobar asking that question there. You have to know, there's a tilt rotator company is pulling in the driveway here. This will be interesting. Huh? I don't know.
Maybe they're delivering the one we didn't order.
Yeah, really. That's really funny. A black truck with yellow lettering on it says tilt rotator on the side. Not Knox. But anyhow.
And they rolled deep with another car.
But anyhow, how we price jobs, it's based off of the time. It's based off of, you have to know what you're worth per hour and what your crew and guys are worth per hour. Escobar, yeah. And so again, talk to johnpajak.com. He'll help you set up your pricing and get you squared away, or reach out to Element. And Element has a free budgeting tool at goelement.com. Mac, again, what's up?
Yeah, you don't even have to pay for the service to get the budgeting tool, and the budget will tell you what you should be charging if you take your time to fill it out. But it does take time to fill out, because you need to know what your insurance costs a year are, how much, like, it goes so detailed as to what did you pay for your truck, what will your truck be worth at the end of its value, how many years are you going to get out of this truck, what are the license taxes and licenses that you have to pay over the years for this truck. So if you have like ODOT numbers, well, those are specific to us, aren't they?
Yeah.
DOT numbers.
DOT, there you
go. So it calculates everything in there, and it's a free tool. So I would suggest using it. Uh-oh. I'll handle this. You go ahead.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I'll handle this.
handled
Yeah,
this.
you go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Okay, those the tilt rotator company guys just walked in the door. So if anyone has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. But they're just stopping by, I think, to say hi. I don't think they have any gifts that they're delivering to P.O. Box 203, Carroll, Ohio. Does anyone have anything else to talk about? How are you guys minimizing your final projects on your, how many projects on your large projects? We just finished wrapping up another 6-figure commercial, 3.5 weeks to complete. I don't know that I understand. How are you guys minimizing your final projects? I don't understand. I'm slow, dirt devil. Can you explain it a different way? Will they do that on the other landscape side or grass side, or just hardscape in regards to numbers like that? What are you referring to, Rick Watkins? Like, how do we do how are we minimizing the final touches on a project? I don't know that we can, or I don't know that we can minimize it. I mean, you just got to be thorough as you go. We're good. I don't know. Okay. So, on our larger projects,
what the guys start to do is they create a punch list as they go, of things that they might not be able to finish right this second, or just to make sure things don't get forgotten. We do multiple walkthroughs with the client. So once a week, our guys are supposed to, or if it's a shorter job, multiple times, like during that 1 week or 2 weeks. But the guys are supposed to do a walkthrough with the client, our foreman is, and just talk about like anything they like or don't like. And because we want to fix things before they happen. So we want to know a problem before it's too late to fix it. And, things with like lighting, we do lighting with Green Foundry. And midway through the project, we'll have Mr. Bo set up a lighting demo under a wall that has the caps not glued together, or in the steps that the caps aren't glued down, or just a path light or two, and let them see what it's like. And then that way we're not having all these final touches and retrofits later on down the road. That's worked really well for us. But as much communication as possible, and then writing things down, like, have your guys, we have a whiteboard in our Hardscape trailer. So anything that, we see or the guys see, they're supposed to write down like, hey, there's a chip paver over there on the right side of the patio, northeast side of the patio. Make sure we get this at the end. Those are the things that we do. Which tier service are you all using for Cycle CPA? I don't know. They, I don't know. I'd have to look for it. They do all of our reconciliation, and we do a quarterly meeting every quarter. So whatever package that is. What you guys were talking about with the company that breaks down all your numbers, will they do that on the other landscape side or grass side? So Element Software, Rick Watkins, the budget will work for landscape, lawn care, snow, anything you want to do there. And it breaks the numbers down. As you fill out like your equipment, there's an equipment budget, there's an overhead budget, there is a field labor budget, and that also tells you what the industry average is. So like the industry average for equipment, and it's all based on what your gross sales are. So you estimate what your gross sales are going to be for the year. So say they're $1 million, and all the industry averages will be based on whatever you said your gross sales were going to be. So if you have $1 million, if you're thinking you're going to do $1 million in sales this year, it will say under the equipment side, like equipment should be 13.7% on average, or whatever it is. And then say you enter in all of your equipment, and it's like, oh, your equipment's 19.7%. So you can see that you're like equipment heavy, and maybe want to relook at some things or see what's more efficient to bring those numbers down. So that will do that in your budget. And then Cycle CPA will do it with your actual numbers throughout the year to see where you need to make adjustments. What's the best strategy of selling high-end pavers that may cost double the price of basic cookie cutter pavers? We actually take the paver to the site and show them the difference. So like with Unilock, they have their face mix pavers compared to, say, it's like, well, I can get all these pavers at Home Depot for $50, and your pavers from Unilock are $500 or whatever, whatever the average is. We'll break the paver in half, and we'll show them the face mix portion, or we'll show them the Bristol Valley that's already pre-sealed, and we'll spray ketchup on it and wipe it off, and then we'll spray ketchup on the Home Depot paver and then wipe it off and say, like, this is what you're paying for. This is the difference. So it's not even something that we necessarily verbally have to tell them. It is as easy as just showing them. And the cool thing about the shop is we'll be able to invite people to the showroom and be like, this is the difference. I probably will put a little pad out of like a lower grade paver, something like that, just to be able to show the differences there. So you just got to sell it, and the warranty factor, the different companies provide. So that is all something to consider. Yes. Also, how do you feel with cheap clients how do you deal with cheap clients even when you are at a very low price? I've accepted our pricing. I've accepted that our pricing is high. We're probably one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive in our area. And I've accepted that. And sometimes we lead out our client meeting with that. So if the client, you can get a feel for a person, like you can kind of tell who they are over the phone, and then you see them in person, and you can almost immediately tell if finances are going to be an issue. And it's like, we're not going to be the cheapest people that come out here. we will probably have the best work, but you're going to have to pay for that. And we'll tell them, you just have to sell yourself. So you have to tell them what it is that you're going to provide that justifies that pricing. And, sometimes we have to get super detailed. Like, we consider ourselves a boutique company with, more custom work. Our guys are all from around here. Their kids go to your school. We are a local company. We use these pavers that are backed for this long by XYZ company. We have projects in the area that are 20 years old that you can go see. We're happy to take you there to them. We'll give them, we have permission from certain clients in the area to hand out their contact information for referrals if they need it. We even have a local client here to the shop that's invited people to their house to show them and like explain what we've offered and how we left our job site every day. You can also, one thing that we did a while ago is we documented the paver process for install, and then we made like a short commercial with it. And that way we were upfront about the whole paver process. We're going to probably wreck your yard. There's going to be an excavator in your yard. There's going to be tons of paver scraps in your yard. There's going to be a huge pile of dirt in your yard. Whatever it is you're doing, we're very upfront with it. And that video was very upfront with it. But then we showed the completed project, and we showed us leaving. We showed us pulling things off site. And, in that video, we were sure to show them that we had a porta-john out there. So they know that the guys are not going to be asking you to use your restroom. The guys are not going to be going in the weeds or the bushes behind your neighbor's house. Just showing the value that costs that much money. Because I could ditch the porta-john, I could ditch XYZ and save them some money. I don't have to do lawn repair work. Somehow the concrete guys get away with doing 0 yard repair work. They leave their forms there, they leave their spikes there, they leave gravel out in the yard. And it's like, those concrete guys were awesome. Landscape guy puts a patio in. Dude, if you do not have sod out there, you are like the worst contractor in the world. So we made a commercial and we sent it out with our estimates for a while, and it just showed the whole paver process and what they would get if they booked with Auman. Let's see. Sorry, that was a long answer. Do you guys use UVision? Yeah, I still use UVision, which is a Unilock product, design software. I actually used it yesterday. It's been a while since I've used it. I use that if I think that the client is going to have a hard time understanding a 2D design. So Morpholio is really quick for me. I can just sketch it out in color, and they have like pre-made shapes on there for your landscape plants. That's my fastest option. But UVision, if your client you don't think is going to get it, or there's a certain like something that you want to convey to them, that is UVision is definitely an easy option to go. And if you're not good with design software, but you think like 3D renderings would help you, there is a UVision Facebook group that with like freelance UVision people, and they can pretty much create whatever you want them to create. So I would recommend that to help you sell more projects this year if you're having a hard time conveying your designs. This is the first time I've been live by myself. I love making a mess, doing concrete, but we upsell the cleanup. Yeah, concrete guys, I don't even know. We use it regularly, only on major projects. Yeah, the UVision, the first program we bought, I was so excited. We bought it from like a local, it was the Ohio Scent Show, which was our landscape and nursery trade show. And I bought Earthscapes, I think. And I was so excited because they like sold me on it in the like trade show booth. And I got home and I had no CAD experience, no nothing. And it was such a waste of money. My designs looked nothing like they were supposed to. And then I came across UVision, and it's user friendly. There's tons of YouTube videos that you can watch to get started. And then Unilock does free UVision classes every now and then that you can attend. And that was like incredibly valuable. So, yeah. So does anyone have anything else? We're approaching our hour. When do you sign up for a class for the end of February? Really excited to grow my knowledge and meet you great people in person. That would be cool. Yeah. I don't think we promoted it. So our next in-person training class is February 16th and 17th. The first day is how to install pavers, and the second day is how to install retaining walls. And we're going to build like a seat wall and a column. We incorporate lighting. it's going to be great. Also, with that, we include a budgeting class with John Pajak and a paver estimating class. So it's not like super hype video crazy. We're not going to teach you how to cut star shapes into, your front walkway. It's not like that. We are going to teach you the fundamentals, and we are going to make sure that you leave confident to go build something yourself. So we talk about all the different types of base systems. We talk about the different products that you can install and the different systems, but it's really important. The fundamentals are what gets you to the great big giant projects that you see on Instagram that everyone wants to build, and the great big pool projects. You got to get the fundamentals first. And I think it's really important that we hammer down on those so you are confident to go expand on your skill set then. So that is what we cover there. And it's structured, but it's not structured. Like, we know what we need to do. But if you guys want to have more experience cutting, or you guys want to build something specific, like as a group, then we are happy to do that. We have the material, we have the equipment, everything is here at the shop for our disposal for those classes. Let's see. RLA's new software projected to come out in the next couple months. That is cool. Have you ever used real-time landscape? It seems very similar to UVision. I think it's the same thing, just with Unilock's name on it, from what I've heard. Like, I think it's all the same deal, but I could be wrong with that. I just know that I bought Unilock UVision like 6 years ago for $299. Is it $1,600 or $1,200 for the 2 days? Thank you for your time. It is $1,200 for the 2 days. If you want to bring an additional person, you get a 10% discount on the second person. There is a local hotel that's about 12 or 15 minutes away, and the hotel, I think, is $93. It's a Marriott. It's a really nice hotel. There's restaurants in the area, and we provide breakfast and lunch. And then in the evening, like, you can stay and hang out as long as you want. We could order pizzas if you guys want to stay and hang out. So we try to keep it like just really open and Q&A style, just to make sure you get the value that you need. Okay. Well, guys, if that is it, thank you for sticking around with just me. The tilt rotator guys are still here, so I don't think Caleb's coming back. But yeah, we will be back next Thursday, which is 2 days before the podcast summit. Podcast summit here, guys, here in our beautiful facility in our studio. The studio is my job for the rest of the day to try to get this thing sorted out before then. It's open to everyone. You don't have to be a podcaster to come, because we need people to interview. So even if you own a pizza shop, even if you own a flower shop, we'd love to have you here and talk to you. Lunch will be provided, sponsored by Kohler, put on by LCR Media. And yeah, so hopefully we see you. Please register, though. Go to LCR Media's Instagram page for the link, because I don't have the link anywhere. Sorry, Naylor. Okay, guys, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Thank you. Have a good day.